Hi, everyone. Ashley Mailloux, Mike Beer here with the Thursday race of the day for New Year's Day. We'll go down to Hallandale Beach, Florida, down to Gulfstream Park. They have a 10-race program, a couple of stakes races, and we'll focus in on the nightcap race number 10. It's the Dania Beach for the 3-year-olds. It's on the grass at the flat mile, and kind of an interesting race. We talked about it just a moment ago, Mike, just the two of us, and the fact that it's probably an interesting betting race and to see where the money's going to land.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how they bet the race. I do think it's kind of an interesting betting race because I don't think there's any standout. I don't know who the favorite's going to be. Maybe it will be Honey Dutch, the 5. Got a lot of speed. Irad's taking them out, so I can see that horse taking money in here. But hardly a horse to be terrified of. Actually, I think a lot of different horses can win here.
I think it's going to be interesting, too, to see horses maybe second time going long or getting back onto the turf or even trying the turf for the first time. We'll take a look at the Time Form US pace projection here. And in terms of who could be involved here, well, first off, a fast pace is projected. Honey Dutch really has had one way of going since transferring to the turf in those last 3, which is to the front, easy wind. I could see him being somewhat forward. And then maybe the 10 in here, Truman's Commander, who's been forward in those races. I have to agree with this. I do think the pace will at least be honest or a tad quick.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if it's not blazing fast, I think it'll be solid and it could be competitive as well. I just felt like the longer I looked at it, the 5 Honey Dutch probably does make the lead. We'll see, how early they go after him and how fast they make him go.
And note here at the back of the pack, the 4 Zeppelin has the LP flag, and this one was able to close into a slow pace last time out on debut. We'll kick it off, though, with the number 1, A Million Dreams for Kevin Rice. Comes in here off a 3rd place finish at Tampa on the turf course. And horse really hasn't done a ton wrong. I guess it's taken a little bit of a buyer boost in the last 3. But I guess, to me, Mike, just lacks a late punch. Just sort of flat in those final stages and happens to get a piece.
Yeah, his races are just okay. They're certainly not great. We'll see if he can take a step forward in here. I mean, I guess you could go to the race 3 back at Keeneland. He was in against a couple of these same horses. Obviously outran his odds that day to hit the board. But it's not like he's improved since then. I don't know about you, Ashley. I didn't think he ran particularly well against Truman's Commander last time. I mean, he had a pretty good trip in that race and never made a real impact.
No, and I think he just needs to take a big step forward. And if I haven't seen it by now, I don't want to back him here against this group. The 2 Squire up next participated in the Florida Sire Stakes. You can see in 3 of those races and got a piece 2 starts back. But last time out on the stretch out didn't fare too well. I guess the positive would be the best buyer speed figure comes on the grass, but to me still needs to answer the distance question.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was thinking the same thing. I was trying to dress this horse up a little bit. I was like, well, I guess I could just say he is a turf horse and he's only run on it twice, but it's not like either of those races or anything special either. I don't know. I just don't know how good this horse is. He should be a pretty good price though.
The 3 Grand Mahogany comes in with 2 wins under his belt. He's a son of Instagram too. When I looked at the pedigree, I guess there is some turf there. This one's a half to Howard Wolowitz, who we know has been able to race on grass and synthetic, but this guy hasn't tried it yet. I do like that his 2 wins came, at a mile, and I think that helps him. And I think if you're looking at a big price, he's one of the better ones maybe to take.
Yeah, I'll agree with all that stuff. I don't want to really add anything to it. Instagram hasn't been a particularly effective turf sire, but there is plenty of pedigree on the bottom to suggest that maybe this horse will handle the grass.
The number 4, Zeppelin, up next, was able to win on debut and closed from the back of the pack. And I don't know how you assess this race, Mike, because I think there's 2 ways of thinking. Maybe the group wasn't the best, but Thailand came back to win next out. But I'm actually impressed the fact that they go 49.5 and this horse is able to kind of get up in time and win.
Yeah, I thought this horse ran great in his debut. He's a little green early in that race. And, he got to save a ton of ground. So I think you do have to factor that in. Like, he never really left the rail in that race. But when you watch the replay back, especially the head-on of the stretch run, it's not like he had a wide open rail to come through in the stretch. That was pretty tight for him in there. It's not every first-time starter is going to be willing to just come right up the inside when there's not a lot of room there. This horse did that. And then once he really got his head in front, I thought he really ran through the wire too. I thought that was a good effort. I think there's more to come for this horse. He has a huge pedigree too, to just keep getting better with time and distance. I don't think you're going to get 15-1 on this horse, but if he's around that price, he's easy to like.
Look at his drills. The last work that he had at Churchill before he came to Palm Meadows, and the most recent one, 46-2. So look forward to seeing what price we get on Zeppelin. The 5 Honey Dutch, we'll take a look at his most recent performance, which curious to get your thoughts. It came in Aqueduct in the Central Park. I mean, Affield's turned out to be pretty consistent, kind of a high 70 buyer stakes horse, but Again, he gets the same sort of trip that he got at Churchill, and he comes up a little bit short, and he went a lot slower on the stretch out from a mile to a mile and a 16th.
Yeah, I didn't think he had really any excuse in this race. He runs fine. He's just not good enough to hold on at the end of this one. I thought he actually ran better in the Churchill race. That was a pretty solid pace he was making in that race. I thought that was a really tough beat there to get nailed on the wire. I just think he's scary in this race, actually, because I think he will make the lead. And, in a race like this where, you make the front and a bunch of horses who aren't that good are chasing you, it's a pretty good position to be in. I don't love this horse, but I think he's kind of dangerous.
The 6 Easy Win, we'll take a look at the performance 2 back. The last time we saw this one on the grass at Keeneland, and I really needed Easy Win to win. I know that he didn't go off nearly at what he was on the morning line. He took a lot of respect. He was down to 3-1, but I just feel like he never was going to catch this winner. He was clearly second best, and Full Effort was a big performance from that one. And then we see the regrouping process makes the lead on the slop at Churchill. I don't know. I think there are still things to like. I'm willing to go back to the well one more time to see what Easy Win can do.
Yeah, his races are all fine. He ran fine in this race here, as you pointed out. The winner of that Brad Cox horse he has a chance to be really good. And Easy Win was just no effort, was no match for him in that race. His races are fine. They don't make him a standout. He is definitely one of the horses that I just want to wait and see what kind of price he goes off at. If he's 5-1, I think that's a very fair price on this horse. I just wasn't sure you were going to get it.
Yeah, and if he's 5-2, you probably don't want a piece of him.
Yeah.
So it really is going to depend what Easy Win goes off at. The 7 Glorious Boy, it's one of the shorter prices on the morning line at 7-2. Comes in here off a pretty big win in the Pulpit, and obviously it was on the Tapeta, and you can say what you want about that. I still think it was a pretty good effort, especially with this horse stretching out, Mike.
Yep, I liked that race last time. I liked his turf debut. I know it was a sprint, for a $75,000 tag. I thought he ran really well in that race and actually took a big jump forward first time on the grass. And his stakes race in between is fine. It's a 4-horse field, and Throckmorton, who's just a really fast horse, got loose on the lead, and this horse couldn't catch him. I think each of his last 3 races are good. I think any one of them would give him a chance to win this race, and I'm definitely using this horse.
The 8, Alpi Land here for Mark Cassie comes in here off back-to-back wins, was able to graduate at Keeneland going 5.5, comes down to Gulfstream Park and puts this performance together that we'll see. And, it's not like this horse was on the lead throughout, Mike. Made a pretty big move and then has to really work for it in the final stages. So to me, I actually kind of prefer this performance and now passing that local mile test.
Yeah, I thought he ran fine in this race, and at least he proved that he can stretch out in distance too. It was really the first time they went 2 turns with him, and he handled it fine. He ran really well in there and got the job done. 2 horses in this race come out of that one. We're going to get to the other horse next, and we can talk about that. I just prefer, out of the 2 horses, I prefer Naughty Nix out of that race that we just watched.
You probably get a better price on this one. We'll talk about Naughty Nix now. You mentioned was the runner-up, was rolling from off of it, a horse that I feel like has probably learned a little bit in each of those races. Actually but participated in the race that Easy Win was the runner-up at Keeneland behind Full Effort and was mid-pack in there. Tried to get the trip, just didn't get the trip, and I can't really fault that performance. And then we saw what happened last time out. Should get, I think, actually a better price than 10-1 on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. That's one of the reasons that I prefer him out of that race. Listen, you talked about the race at Keeneland Tubeck where you liked Easy Win and bet him. I liked this horse in that race and bet him. I just didn't think that he ran that well. I actually thought he would run a lot better than that in his turf debut. But the flip side of that is I think he did run well last time. And when I watched that race, and you can go back and watch the full replay, I'm not knocking the race that the winner ran. He ran fine in there, but the winner always had position on Naughty Nix in that race. He got first run on Naughty Nix in that race and made the lead. And then Naughty Nix just couldn't catch him. But I liked the late run that this horse put in there. I could give this horse one more chance here at a price.
We talked about A Million Dreams coming out of that race at Tampa. Truman's Commander, the final horse in this field, was the winner of that race and took them gate to wire. I guess I can appreciate that this horse could be forward, especially with the outside draw. I just have a real concern, Mike, about how quick they go, because the 2 wins, they've been gate to wire. One, they went 50 and 3.5, and the other, they went 48 and almost 4, and I don't see them going that slow.
Exactly. We have the same picture. This horse is fine, and I think he fits pretty well in this field, but both of his wins, he just had absolute control of the pace both times. And with the some of those horses drawn to his inside in here, it's probably not going to happen.
A very interesting field of 10 for the Dania Beach. Don't forget free pass performances on the DRF website. We'll move to our top selections here. And We're going to try to beat, I guess, some of the shorter prices on the morning line. I think the wagering is really going to change what these horses go off at. And you mentioned it, the 4 Zeppelin, if he's any part of 15-1, you'll love him. Probably won't be that price.
I'm assuming not, but I guess I'll wait and see how they bet this race. I was pretty taken with this horse's debut. Actually, I just like everything about him. I like his trainer. I like his pedigree a lot, and I really like the race that he ran first time out. And I like this field too. I don't think there are any killers in here. If this horse could just move forward a little bit off that debut, I think he can win this race.
4, 5, 7, 9 for Mike. I'll use the 4, 5, and the 7, but I will use the 6 on top here. Easy Wind, I mentioned it. I'll go back one more time. Very curious to see the trip. I think he can get a trip where he's sitting just off of it. Let the speed go. He won't be towards the back of the pack, and maybe can carve it out from there. We'll see if he's any part of 5-1. Don't want him at too short of a price. So 6, 7, 4, 5 for me. Whoever you like, let us know, and best of luck.